Chapter 8. "So you had a very gay time at Natalia Dmitrievna's, Prince?" queried Marya Alexandrovna, surveying the field of the approaching conflict with a predatory eye, and desiring to begin the conversation as innocently as possible. Her heart was beating with excitement and anticipation. After dinner they had taken the prince at once to the salon in which he had been received that morning. All solemn functions and receptions at Marya Alexandrovna's took place in this salon. She was proud of the room. The old man seemed rather limp after his 6 glasses of wine, and could hardly keep on his legs, but he chattered away without ceasing. His garrulousness was only intensified. Marya Alexandrovna realized that this spurt of excitement was only momentary, and that her guest, heavy from his potations, would soon be drowsy. She must seize the moment. Scanning the field of battle, she noticed with satisfaction that the lascivious old man was fixing upon Zina glances of peculiar avidity, and her maternal heart fluttered with joy. "Exceedingly gay," answered the prince, "and you know Natalia Dmitrievna is an absolutely incomparable woman. Incomparable!" Though Marya Alexandrovna was so absorbed in her great plans, yet such ringing praise of her rival stabbed her to the heart. "Upon my word, Prince," she cried with flashing eyes, "I really don't know what to think if your Natalia Dmitrievna is an incomparable woman. You say that because you don't know our society. You don't know it at all. Why, it is a mere exhibition of fictitious qualities, of noble sentiments, a farce, an outer husk of gold. Remove that husk, and you will find a perfect hell under the flowers, a perfect wasp's nest, where you will be devoured to the last bone." "Is it possible?" exclaimed the prince. "You surprise me." "But I vow that it is so. Ah, mon prince! Do you know, Zina, I really ought to tell the prince that absurd and undignified incident with Natalia Dmitrievna last week. Do you remember?" "Yes, Prince. It is about your vaunted Natalia Dmitrievna, with whom you are so fascinated. Oh, my dearest Prince, I vow I am not a scandalmonger, but I certainly must tell you this simply to amuse you, to show you in a living instance, in a magnifying glass, so to speak, what people here are like. A fortnight ago Natalia Dmitrievna came to see me. Coffee was served, and I went out of the room for something. I remember perfectly well how much sugar there was in my silver sugar basin. It was quite full. I came back and looked. There were only 3 lumps lying at the bottom of the basin. No one had been left in the room but Natalia Dmitrievna. What do you say to that? She has a brick house of her own and heaps of money. It's an absurd, comical incident, but you can judge from that the lofty tone of our society." "Is it possible?" exclaimed the prince, genuinely surprised. "What unnatural greediness! Did she eat it all up alone?" "So you see what an incomparable woman she is, Prince. How do you like that disgraceful incident? I believe I should have died on the spot if I had brought myself to commit such a revolting action." To be sure. But you know she really is such a belle femme." "Natalia Dmitrievna? Upon my word, Prince, she is a perfect tub. Oh, Prince, what are you saying? I did expect better taste from you." "To be sure, a tub. Only, you know, she is such a fine figure. And that girl who danced, she is such a good figure, too." "Sonitchka? But she is quite a child. She is only 14. To be sure, only, she is so agile, and she has such contours, too. They are developing. Such a charming girl. And the other who danced with her, she is developing, too. Ah, that is a luckless orphan, Prince. She often stays with them. An orphan? She's a dirty girl, though. She might wash her hands anyway. Though she was attractive, too. As he said this, the prince scrutinized Zina through his lorgnette with a sort of growing avidity. Mais quelle charmante personne! He muttered in an undertone, melting with gratification. Zina, play us something, or better still, sing. How she sings, Prince! She is equal to a professional. And if you only knew, Prince, Marya Alexandrovna went on in a low voice when Zina had moved away to the piano with her soft, swimming gait, which sent a thrill through the poor old man. If only you knew what a daughter she is, what a loving nature she has, how tender she is with me, what feeling, what heart. To be sure, feeling. And do you know, I have only known one woman in my life who could be compared with her for beauty, the prince interrupted, with his mouth watering. That was Countess Ninsky. She died 30 years ago. A most fascinating woman she was, an indescribable beauty. Afterwards she married her cook. Her cook, Prince? To be sure, her cook. A Frenchman abroad. She got a count's title for him abroad. He was a good-looking man, extremely well educated, with little moustaches like this. And how did they get on together, Prince? To be sure, they got on very well together, though they separated soon afterwards. He robbed her and went off. They quarrelled about some sauce. Mamma, what shall I play? Asked Zina. You had better sing us something, Zina. How she sings, Prince! Are you fond of music? Oh, yes, charmant, charmant. I am very fond of music. I used to know Beethoven when I was abroad. Beethoven! Only fancy, Zina, the prince used to know Beethoven, Marya Alexandrovna cried rapturously. Oh, Prince, did you really know Beethoven? To be sure, we were quite friends, and he always had his nose in the snuff-box. Such a funny fellow. Beethoven? To be sure, Beethoven, but perhaps it was not Beethoven, though, but some other German. There are such a lot of Germans out there. I believe I have mixed them up. What am I to sing, Mamma? Asked Zina. Oh, Zina, sing that song in which there is so much chivalry, the one in which there is the lady of the castle and her troubadour. Oh, Prince, how I love all that age of chivalry, those castles, that medieval life, those troubadours, heralds, tournaments. I will accompany you, Zina. Come here closer, Prince. Ah, those castles. To be sure, those castles. I love castles too, muttered the prince rapturously, transfixing Zina with his solitary eye. But, my goodness, he exclaimed, that song, why, I know that song. I heard that song long ago. It brings back such memories. Ah, my goodness. I will not undertake to describe what happened to the prince while Zina was singing. She sang an old French song which had once been in fashion. Zina sang it beautifully. Her pure, resonant contralto went straight to the heart. Her lovely face, her wonderful eyes, the wonderful delicately molded fingers with which she turned the music, her thick, brilliant black hair, her heaving bosom, her whole figure, proud, lovely, noble, all this bewitched the poor old man completely. He did not take his eyes off her while she was singing. He gasped with emotion. His aged heart, warmed by the champagne, the music, and rising memories — what man has not favourite memories? — was throbbing faster and faster, as it had not beat for ages. He was ready to fall on his knees before Zina, and was almost weeping when she had finished. "Oh, ma charmante enfant!" he cried, kissing her fingers. "Vous me ravissez! Only just now I remembered. But, oh, ma charmante enfant!" And the prince could not go on. Marya Alexandrovna felt that her moment had come. "Why are you wasting your life, Prince?" she exclaimed solemnly. "What feeling, what vital energy, what spiritual riches, and to bury yourself for your whole life in solitude, to run away from people, from your friends. But it is unpardonable. Think better of it, Prince. Look at life, so to speak, with a fresh eye. Evoke from your heart your memories of the past, the memories of your golden youth, of those golden days free from care. Bring them back to life. Restore yourself to life. Begin to live again in society among your fellows. Go abroad. Go to Italy, to Spain. To Spain, Prince. You want someone to guide you, a heart that would love you, that would honor you and feel with you. But you have friends. Summon them, call them to you, and they will flock in crowds to your side. I would be the first to throw up everything and fly at your summons. I remember our friendship, Prince. I would abandon my husband and follow you. And indeed, if I were younger, if I were as good and as lovely as my daughter, I would be your travelling companion, your friend, your wife, if that was your wish." "And I am sure you were une charmante personne in your day," said the prince, blowing his nose. His eyes were moist with tears. "We live again in our children, Prince," Marya Alexandrovna answered with lofty feeling. "I, too, have my guardian angel, and that is my daughter, the friend of my heart, the partner of my thoughts, Prince. She has already refused 7 offers, unwilling to part from me." "So she would come with you when you accompany me abroad? In that case I will certainly go abroad," cried the prince, growing more animated. "I will certainly go, and if I might flatter myself with the hope. But she is a fascinating child. Oh, ma charmante enfant!" And the prince began kissing her hand again. The poor man would have liked to drop on his knees before her. But, Prince, you say, can you flatter yourself with hope?" Marya Alexandrovna caught him up, conscious of a fresh rush of eloquence. "But you are strange, Prince. Can you consider yourself unworthy of a woman's devotion? It is not youth that makes a man handsome. Remember that you, so to speak, are a scion of the old aristocracy. You are the embodiment of the most refined, the most chivalrous sentiments and manners. Did not Maria love Mazeppa in his old age? I remember, I have read that Luzon, that enchanting marquis at the court of Louis I have forgotten which, in his declining years, when he was an old man, won the heart of one of the leading court beauties. And who has told you that you are old? Who has instilled that idea into you? Men like you do not grow old. You with such wealth of feeling, of gaiety, of wit, of vital energy, of brilliant manners. Only show yourself at some spa abroad with a young wife as beautiful as my Zina, for instance. I am not speaking of her, I only mention her for example, and you will see what a colossal sensation it will make. You are a scion of the aristocracy, she a queen of beauty. You will walk with her on your arm in triumph. She will sing in brilliant society. You, for your part, will scintillate with wit, and all the visitors at the spa will flock to look at you. All Europe will be ringing with your name, for all the newspapers, all the feuilletons at the watering places will tell the same story. The feuilleton? Oh yes, that's in the newspapers, muttered the prince, not understanding half Marya Alexandrovna's babble, and growing more and more limp every moment. But, my child, if you are not tired, sing that song you sang just now once more. Oh, Prince, but she has other songs better still. Do you remember l'Hirondelle, Prince? No doubt you have heard it. Yes, I remember, or rather I have forgotten it. No, the same song as before, the same that she sang just now. I don't want l'Hirondelle, I want the same song, said the prince, entreating like a child. Zina sang it over again. The prince could not restrain himself, and sank on his knees before her. "Oh, ma belle chatelaine!" he cried, in a voice quavering with age and excitement. "Oh, ma charmante chatelaine! Oh, my sweet child! You have reminded me of so much, of what was in the distant past. I thought then that everything would be better than it was afterwards. In those days I used to sing duets with the Vicomtesse, that very song, and now I don't know what now." All this speech the prince uttered breathless and gasping. His tongue was perceptibly faltering. Some words were almost impossible to understand. It could only be seen that he was in an extremely maudlin state. Marya Alexandrovna promptly threw oil on the flames. "Prince, but perhaps you are falling in love with my Zina?" she cried, feeling that it was a solemn moment. The prince's answer surpassed her highest expectations. "I am madly in love with her," cried the old man, suddenly reviving, still on his knees and trembling all over with excitement. "I am ready to devote my life to her, and if I could only hope... But lift me up, I feel rather weak. If I could only hope to offer her my heart, then she would sing me songs every day, and I could always look at her, always look at her. Oh, my goodness!" Prince, you offer her your hand? You want to rob me of my Zina, my darling, my angel Zina. But I will not let you go, Zina. You will have to tear her from my arms, from the arms of her mother." Marya Alexandrovna rushed at her daughter and folded her tightly in her arms, though she was conscious of being somewhat violently repulsed. The mamma was rather overdoing it. Zina felt that in every fibre of her being, and looked on at the farce with indescribable disgust. She was silent, however, and that was all Marya Alexandrovna wanted. "She has refused 9 offers simply to avoid being parted from her mother," she cried. "But now my heart forebodes separation. This morning I noticed how she looked at you. You impressed her with your aristocratic ways, Prince, with that refinement. Oh, you are parting us. I have a presentiment of it." "I adore her," muttered the prince, still quivering like an aspen leaf. "And so you will forsake your mother?" exclaimed Marya Alexandrovna, dashing at her daughter once again. Zina was in haste to put an end to the painful scene. She held out her lovely hand to the prince, and even forced herself to smile. The prince took the hand with reverence, and covered it with kisses. "Only now I begin to live," he muttered, gasping with ecstasy. "Zina," Marya Alexandrovna pronounced solemnly, "look at this man. He is the noblest, the most honorable of all the men I know. He is a medieval knight. But she knows that, Prince, she knows it to my sorrow. Oh, why did you come? I am giving you my treasure, my angel. Take care of her, Prince. That is the earnest prayer of a mother, and what mother will censure me for my sorrow?" "Mamma, that is enough," whispered Zina. "You will protect her from insult, Prince. Your sword will flash in the face of any slanderer or backbiter who dare malign my Zina." "That is enough, Mamma, or I'll—" Yes, it will flash," muttered the prince. "Only now I begin to live. I want the wedding to be at once, this minute. I want to send to Duhanovo at once. I have diamonds there. I want to lay them at her feet." "What fire, what fervour, what nobility of feeling!" exclaimed Marya Alexandrovna. "And you could waste yourself, withdrawing from the world. I shall say that 1,000 times over. I am beside myself when I think of that diabolical—" "How could I help it? I was so frightened," muttered the prince, whimpering and growing maudlin. "They wanted to put me in a madhouse. I was frightened." "In a madhouse? Oh, the monsters! Oh, the inhuman creatures! Oh, the base treachery! Prince, I had heard that, but that was insanity on the part of those people. What for? Whatever for?" "I don't know myself what for," answered the old man, feeling weak and sitting down in an easy chair. "I was at a ball, you know, and I told some anecdote, and they did not like it, and so there was a fuss." "Really? Only for that, Prince?" "No, I played cards afterwards with Prince Pyotr Dementich. I couldn't make any tricks. I had 2 kings and 3 queens, or rather 3 queens and 2 kings. No, 1 king, and afterwards I had the queens." "And for that, oh, the fiendish inhumanity! You are weeping, Prince. But now that will not happen again. Now I shall be at your side, my Prince. I shall not part from Zina, and we shall see if they dare to say a word. And indeed, you know, Prince, your marriage will impress them. It will put them to shame. They will see that you are still quite competent. That is, they will realize that such a beauty would not have married a madman. Now you can hold up your head proudly. You can look them straight in the face. Oh, yes, I will look them straight in the face, muttered the prince, closing his eyes. He's nearly asleep, though, thought Marya Alexandrovna. It is merely wasting words. Prince, you are agitated. I see that. You absolutely must be quiet. Rest after your emotion, she said, bending over him maternally. Oh, yes, I should like to lie down a little, he said. Yes, calm yourself, Prince. This agitation... Stay, I will accompany you myself. I will put you to bed myself if need be. Why are you looking at that portrait, Prince? It is the portrait of my mother, an angel, not a woman. Oh, why is she not with us now? She was a saintly woman, Prince, a saintly woman. I can call her nothing else. A saintly woman? C'est joli. I had a mother too, princess, and only fancy she was an extraordinarily fat woman. But that wasn't what I meant to say. I am a little tired. Adieu, ma charmante enfant. I delighted today, tomorrow, but no matter. Au revoir, au revoir. At this point he tried to wave a kiss, but slipped and almost fell down in the doorway. Take care, Prince. Lean on my arm, cried Marya Alexandrovna. Charmant, charmant, he muttered as he went out. Only now I am beginning to live. Zina was left alone. Unutterable bitterness weighed upon her heart. She felt sick with repulsion. She was ready to despise herself. Her cheeks were burning. Clenching her fists and setting her teeth, she stood motionless with bowed head. Tears of shame gushed from her eyes. At that moment the door opened, and Mozgliakov ran into the room. Breaking in. Part of the joke in the early portion of this chapter concerns the prince's indiscriminate admiration of the opposite sex. But of course it's not just a joke. His apparent pedophilia is another one of those sobering moments that slides seamlessly into his foppish presence on the stage. Once again, the cultural references here are from an earlier age, and Marya Alexandrovna uses them with uneven accuracy to woo the prince. The young Maria does fall for the elderly Mazeppa in Tchaikovsky's operatic version of Ukrainian history. But while the Duc de Luzen was involved with Louis XIV's court, his most famous romance was with a woman who was older than him. Late in life, however, he did marry a 14-year-old girl. Of course, accuracy is hardly Marya Alexandrovna's goal. End of comments.